Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TC Lifestyle Fit Podcast. I'm your host, Tim TC Collins. You are in for an absolute treat today. We have a college basketball legend on our show today, Coach Rico Burkett. He was an amazing athlete when he was at the University of North Dakota, 2 back-to-back Elite Eight appearances. He was one of the most winningest coaches in Wayne State College basketball history, where he gave me an opportunity to walk on his program. He's a mentor, taught me discipline, taught me work ethic. He taught me how to wake up early in the morning and give my 100% best effort, not just for myself, but for my teammates as well. He currently is the assistant basketball coach for the women's team at the University of Colorado State, actually, and they are experiencing a tremendous level of success as a program. I believe they are number 2 in the Mountain West Division, and they continue to climb that mountain and taking their basketball program to a higher level. And Coach Burkett, he's amazing, and I'm grateful for this opportunity that he's going to come on the show and share his wisdom on leadership with all of us. Without further ado, let's show our love to Coach Rico Burkett. All right, what's up, Coach Burkett? How are we doing this morning?
I'm good. I don't know if all those mentions and accolades are quite accurate, but I'll take them.
Yeah, you're amazing. You're amazing, Coach. You're amazing. So, can you start, Coach, with telling us your about your background, how you got into the profession of coaching basketball?
Yeah. Back when I was growing up in Des Moines, Iowa, was a huge sports fan, and I think when I was 6 years old, I wrote a little piece on a piece of paper, and I put it in a cigar box that I wanted to be a coach. And I think as I kind of grew up around the game of sports and a lot of different activities, I just kind of wanted to be in that lane. So as I went through high school, I was kind of a sponge. I gravitated to our coaches in the respective sports that I played in. As I went on off to college, I just knew that was kind of a lane that I wanted to get involved in, and I just tried to position myself so that I would have that opportunity. And then once I graduated, I had the opportunity to get started as a graduate assistant at North Dakota with the women's program. And my assistant coach at that time was Greg McDermott, who went on to take the job at Wayne State, and I followed him as his top assistant. And it just kind of springboarded into a couple different areas. I won't go all the way as far as all the places I've been, but in that stop, it led me to a unique relationship with Coach Ryan Williams, who's our current head coach here at Colorado State. When Coach McDermott moved on, they promoted me into the head men's job, and Coach Williams was our head women's coach at Wayne State. So our relationship kind of grew and developed. And then 6 years ago, as I was out of the college profession, he thought enough of me to give me a phone call to give me an opportunity to get back into college. And now I'm working with him.
Wow, amazing. Shout out to Coach Ryan Williams. He's an amazing basketball coach as well. Can you talk about how it all started for you as a student athlete? Let's go back to your playing days at the University of North Dakota, and you still have some records there for steals and assists, which is a testament to your character, which means you were the student athlete who had a significant level of focus on getting your teammates involved. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I actually started out as a junior college player. Coming out of high school, I was probably about maybe 5'10", 5'11", 150 pounds. So needed a lot of development, and more than the physical part of it, Tim, I was probably more struggling with the social piece. I was really a homebody. I wasn't one that was out and going to parties and those type of things. So I needed a smaller environment where I could kind of find myself and grow. And I was fortunate to go to Iowa Central Community College. My head coach there was Dennis Pilcher. Was a no nonsense type of guy, and just really taught us the the work ethic that it was necessary to be able to advance and survive. And then I branched off to the University of North Dakota, where Rich Glass was my head coach. Unbelievable mentor for me, still is today. Just taught me a lot about kind of the disciplines and the things that I shared with you as a head coach. Just being present, being responsible, being accountable were daily things that we talked about. And I struggled with some of those things early, but at the same time, they just kind of kept ingraining those things into my head and into our thought processes, and it finally took a hold, and had a lot of successes there. But I was really blessed because of the type of individuals I was surrounded with. I had All-Americans everywhere that I played. So anytime I passed the basketball, there was a pretty good chance that it was going in the hole. So some of those stats are a little bit inflated just because of the personnel that I played with. But it probably leads to a big point, is that every player in those locker rooms are talented. We were all high school all-stars or all conference kids. Everybody can't be that at the same time. So there's a place where you have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to put your individual accolades off to the side for the betterment of the team. And I bought into that. And when individuals buy into those things, and as a team, you are able to achieve a lot of positive things. And our teams were highly successful. And I'm proud of some of the things that we were able to accomplish as a program there.
How do you go about communicating the concept to your student athletes that the game is bigger than just having talent? To be successful corporately as a basketball team, it's not about the individual parts necessarily, but it's about how all those individual parts can come together with the same mindset and perspective on being the absolute best. How do you communicate to your athletes just what it takes to win outside of themselves?
I think a big part of it is being honest. As you're bringing kids on campus, and we have recruits, and even the current kids that we have in our program, you're all talented. You all have different gifts and different blessings that you've been bestowed, but those talents only take you so far. Are you willing to be disciplined in your work ethic, in what you bring to the table every day, showing up on time and being there early, being present, listening, and learning from some of the things that we're sharing, but also being willing to sacrifice. If you were that 20-point scorer in high school, are you willing to be a little bit less of a scorer in this role, if it allows you to get on the floor and be a part of something in a rotation? And then probably the most important piece is just being consistent with that. A lot of kids are really, really good when things are going well for them, but how do you handle those adversities when you're struggling, and not give up and take a step backwards? So those are things that we try to communicate with our players on a daily basis. We're honest with those assessments. We're not here to try to pat them on the back and kind of inflate their egos. We're going to tell you the truth, and you've got to buy into those things. And then it comes down to the unrequired work. The things that show up on game nights, those are the highlights. But what happens Monday through Thursday are probably the most important dates, and everybody's showing up to practice. That's what we do as a team. But when the lights go off and when no one's around, are you one of those kids that are in the gym, honing on your skills, or taking some of those things that we've talked about from a constructive standpoint and implementing that outside of your time? Those are the players that really ascend and get the most out of their games.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Coach, I'm very familiar with the athlete development model, and I believe wholeheartedly that success, it begins early, youth stages, with when you're playing basketball, elementary, going through junior high to high school. What is your perspective on the current landscape of athlete development? Because I believe it's important that you need to teach the kids how to have fun early, teach them how to compete after that. Then they need to learn how to win. So what are you seeing in today's current landscape of youth athletics in general, maybe not even just basketball? What's your concept of that philosophy?
Yeah, I think it's definitely changed. I think back when I was growing up, AU basketball was one weekend.
Yeah.
where we kind of came together at a local school, and we kind of had our little all-star team, but it was one weekend.
Yeah.
Our team camps were 1 week in the summer. Now kids are playing over 100 games of AAU basketball in the summertime. So the skill development and the personal trainers and things that have kind of ascended, those are awesome tools and resources. But sometimes I think we're missing being able to teach kids the fundamentals of the game. As we look for players, we want kids that can dribble, pass, shoot, and defend, and not just be specialists. I kind of joke with my son sometimes. I was like, it's amazing how, because of social media, kids don't watch basketball anymore in the entirety. Because of social media, you can get highlights and you can get the splash plays immediately right from your phone, but you really miss the context of what really happened in the game. So I think just to develop a young player, and just as you kind of talked about, it starts with their passion and their love for the game, and embracing that, but also teaching the fundamental standpoints of how they can become a well-rounded player, and then continuing to hone in on that.
Wow, that's good. That's good. So, Coach, can you also elaborate on the process of identifying what skills are most important to work on initially? I mean, you have 24 hours in a day. Some of us, especially as a student athlete, you're balancing maybe work, your studies, a long list of other activities that you have to maintain as a student athlete. How does a person who wants to take their abilities to a higher level manage becoming a better athlete with the time they have? Like, what skills are most important to work on, and what are some skills that maybe aren't as useful?
I think I think from a basketball standpoint, I think it is those fundamental basics. If you can't dribble, if you can't pass, you can't shoot, or you can't defend, especially at the college level, it makes it really difficult to play you. As we do our scouting and we do our preparation, we're going to identify those weaknesses, and we're going to hone in on those, or we're going to exploit them. So you've got to be able to have those basic fundamentals to start with. And then you've got to develop them. You've got to consistently work on those type of things. But I think one of the most important things that you kind of mentioned is, for a college athlete, they're going to school. They've got the social piece. They've got family. They've got friends. They've got practice. There's a component that they have to be able to have a high level of time management skills. Being able to kind of prioritize what's important, what needs to be taken care of during those time frames, and using that wisely. If you're one that wants to be out and doing everything and being a part of everything, you're probably not going to reach your true potential. There are going to be some things that you're going to have to be able to sacrifice. And that might be that you're not at every social function, or you might not be able to be at all these different things. It might be that you have to work after you're done with your studies. You might have to shoot to the gym a little bit later in the evening if it means it's important to you.
Wow, that's amazing, Coach. So what let's talk about the physical conditioning aspect that goes into being an elite basketball player. I look at the training and the nutrition. I like to start with the nutrition first. What are some concepts that you're implementing into the Colorado State University basketball program for the ladies to optimize their performance? Because I really believe that it just boils down to a few things. You need to know what your caloric needs are. You need to know what your splits are. And then timing. Timing is a big deal. After you get done lifting weights, after you get done conditioning, make sure you're getting ample amounts of protein, carbohydrates, dietary fat into your system. And even just from a perspective before you start training, if you're not connecting all those dots, I mean, you could be a talented athlete, but if you're eating Cheetos and McDonald's all the time before or after your workouts, that's not helping you take your game to a higher level. So what are some practices that your coaching staff is teaching the women that they need to take action on to be successful on the court physically?
Yeah, we're really fortunate here. A lot of our resources, whether it's our our strength and conditioning programs, whether it's our athletic training staff, our staff. We have a sports dietitian here on campus. We all collectively work together. I'm not blessed to be able to talk about some of those specifics, but at the same time, I think it is really important. What you eat and how you feel your body is going to pay off or become a deficit. So we try to talk and educate our players on what the things that they should be putting in their bodies and how they go about those type of things, making sure that they're getting the ample type of rest and recovery. We've got some of those Normatec boots, the Theraguns, and all those different cold tubs, hot tubs that they can utilize to kind of recover. And then we also have a recovery room that allows them the proper things to put in their bodies, the smoothies and the type of foods to kind of help them kind of replenish their calories so that they're operating at the best that they can be. Because with basketball, we're in the gym at least 4 to 5 days a week with practice, but you're also in the weight room 4 days a week getting a lift in. So over the course of time, that's going to take its toll on your body. So if you're burning the midnight oil on one end and ripping and running on the basketball end, at some point your body's going to give out. So you have to strike a balance, but you also have to take care of yourself in how you go about your dietary consumption.
That's good wisdom. Do you have a preseason All-American on your team, correct? Is her name McKenna Holst? Yeah, she's an impressive athlete. So what are you noticing about her habits in comparison to maybe everyone else on the team?
Well, I'd like to say
what makes her successful? What habits are you noticing about her that is helping her compete at such a high level?
Well, I'd like to think that it's because she's working with me every day.
Exactly. Yes, sir. I know. That's exactly it. You are a mom coach, literally. You're amazing.
No, yes. Honestly, McKenna's she's a special young lady. She came into our program over 3 years ago. And the kind of the unique thing about her, Tim, is she's only 5'2". She's been told all her life she's not athletic, she's not tall enough, she's not strong enough, and she's used that as fuel. There's not many things or obstacles that she's going to put in front of her that she's not willing to run through. But I think what really separates her is just her toughness and her discipline. She is that young lady that's in the gym. If we're practicing at 8:30, she's in the gym, or she's texting me the night before, Coach, can we get some shots up at 7:15? And that's a thing that happens routinely most every day when we're practicing. But then she's coming up today to watch some film, to be able to see some things that maybe she can do better, or things that she can exploit in specific fundamental things that we do as a program. So she's a gym rat. She's willing to pay a price. You can have honest conversations with her. She's probably her toughest critic. So I think that she's willing to pay a price, and because of that, and she's consistently done that all throughout the time that she's been here. She's been the beneficiary of a lot of those accolades, and she just received another one the other day that she was named on the Nancy Lieberman top 20 list of top 20 players in the country. So really proud of her, but we can't take a lot of credit for it. It also starts in the locker room with her teammates understanding what her value is and what her worth is, and them willing to be able to sacrifice. But she puts a lot of time outside of what everybody sees into trying to become the best version of who she can be.
How are her behaviors impacting the locker room? Because just as easily you can have someone like McKenna with a high level mindset who will lift everyone else up. And you could also bring a bad apple into the program, which can ruin the bunch. How are her behaviors and her just overall energy, attitude impacting the locker room, her teammates?
I think it's twofold. I think with her, we always talk about, how you handle certain things and how you handle adversities or criticisms, your reflection to your teammates. So if we're going to use you as a leader and you want to be that leader, then you've got to be able to take kind of the bullet for the team. And so if we're trying to get a point across, we may use you. And how you handle those certain situations and your attitude and your body language, that sends a message to your teammates. And I think their teammates, they know the type of time that she puts into it and her skill set. So it's easy to follow. So I think how she handles certain things and how she uses that role can be beneficial or it can be detrimental. And I think she's a very realistic type of kid. She's easy to get along with. So I think kids gravitate to her. And I think she's used that role in a positive way within our locker room.
Wow. I love what you said, Coach. Pay the price, because success, there's two paths. There's a wide path. Everyone goes that way because it's easy. There is not a significant amount of work required to go that direction. But it will ultimately ruin you and deter you from all the great things that the good Lord has for you, whether it's on the court or off the court. But that narrow path is difficult. You mentioned waking up early to lift weights, waking up early to run, studying film. Maybe you're missing out on some, like you said, some of the social events. It's hard short term, but long term, you're going to reap benefits. And I love what Coach Kara Lawson from Duke says. You have to learn how to do the hard things better. Now, how do you also coach shaping their mindsets to be successful, not just on the basketball court? Because that's one thing. That's a finite field. Not everybody gets to play WNBA ball, play NBA ball, whatever. But at some point, we have to leave the game and be productive members of society. What type of rules or concepts, principles are you teaching or communicating to your athletes every day?
I think you said it best. There's a humility to this. The ball will stop bouncing at some point. And what did you take from this experience? And I think sports, basketball are great vehicles of being able to teach life lessons. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I've been humble enough to be willing to share those. I'd rather share my misfortunes so that you can maybe learn from those, so that you don't have to walk down that same path. But at the same time, all the successes that you may have, there's got to be a humility, because at some point that landscape will change. And all those that are praising you and boosting you up will be the same people that could be tearing you down when you stumble. So being able to stay even keel and knowing that the same work ethic that you had to maintain to get to that top spot, you've got to have that same desire and even work even harder to maintain it, so that you don't fall.
Wow, amazing. What are some of the expectations that you have for your program going into the 2023-24 season?
We have high expectations with some of the young ladies that we have. McKenna in particular, she was named preseason conference player of the year. It was an award that she won last year. We have 8 seniors on this group, so this is a veteran group. And Coach Williams has done an amazing job since he's been here. In his 12 years, we've won 20 plus games. I believe it's like eight years during his stint. We've won 5 Mountain West Conference titles. So this is a program that has expectations to win, not to be one of the top programs in our conference, not to be competitive. We want to win. So that's our expectation. That's our bullseye. And that's the focus that we work towards on a daily basis. We don't talk about just winning 20 games. We're not talking about playing in WNITs. We want to play in the national tournament. We want another ring. So to be able to put that as your target, then you have to work with a different type of focus, and that's paying that price. That's doing something that's a little bit unrequired than what others are willing to do. And if you work towards those type of goals and with that type of mindset, then your expectations should be that you can achieve those type of goals.
Wow, amazing. Besides, Coach Ryan Williams, who's another coach in college basketball right now you have a significant level of respect for, that someone you admire, that maybe you're modeling some of the practices you're implementing into your program from?
No, I've had some really blessed. I've been blessed in that regards as far as mentors.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Even it started back from just my family, like my dad and my
Mhm.
uncles. They were no nonsense people. They taught kind of with tough love, um, and that just kind of grounded me to make me and develop me into the person that I am.
Mhm.
And then my family made a ton of sacrifices.
Wow.
I was not a kid that was. We grew up in the inner city, but I wasn't that type of kid. I wasn't one that was going to hang out and be out and about. And my family knew that about me, so they were willing to make sure that they would keep those negative influences away from me, so that I could stay focused on the things that I wanted to achieve. And then going off to school, I mentioned my high school basketball coach, my junior college coach, Coach Glass at North Dakota, and then Greg McDermott has probably been one of my biggest mentors.
Mhm.
He brought me into the game, but he also shared a lot of different things, and we had a lot of honest conversations. So I was really blessed and fortunate to kind of learn from him of kind of the mindset of how and what I wanted to be as a coach, and then currently here, Coach Williams. Our philosophies were a little bit different, but just learning how he goes about it, I've been able to learn that there are different ways to be able to impact students' lives in different ways and different styles. And we play a totally different style than the way that I coached as a head coach. And just looking at some of the accolades and the things that Coach Williams has been able to accomplish, he's doing things the right way. So it just expands my horizons or my knowledge levels, so that I can kind of impact different kids' wisdom and their games and developing their overall growth. So, like I said, I've been really, really blessed. And I think one of the big things in this profession, when you stop learning, you probably need to get out of the business. So,
Mhm.
every opportunity, whether it's a head coach, whether it's assistant coach, whether it's on a recruiting trail, whether you're just, uh, at at any function, just being able to talk the game and learning different nuances of how people are doing things, and reaching kids are just new vehicles to be able to learn from, and then share that. Like I said, the way that I went about it when I had you guys, I've probably evolved and I've probably changed a little bit, but at the same
Mhm.
time, there's core values that stay the same, and I've maintained, and it really is trying to reach you guys where you're at, not necessarily more about what I need from that moment.
Wow. Coach, you are an incredible father. You're a husband, and you're a leader on one of the top basketball programs in the country. How are you maintaining your mental and your physical health? Like, what are some practices that you're taking action on every day? Because mental health, leadership, higher you go up, the more you give up. Higher you go up, the more you give up. Responsibilities go up, rights go down. And that means as the leader, you're very intentional with maintaining the mental and the physical aspect of your health. What are you doing, coach?
I think I've been really blessed with like my family,
Yeah.
um, my wife Mandy. Um,
Yes.
we've been married for 22 years, and she
Man.
is very, very independent, but she understood who I was and what my goals were as wanting to be a college basketball coach.
Yeah.
So she's been unbelievably supportive, and we've been able to strike a nice balance. That she's been able to kind of take care of and be the rock of our and foundation of our home, and our kids have kind of understood that. But I was really blessed. When we were at Wayne State, when I had Taryn, or when we had Taryn,
She was a
my
baby last time I saw her.
my first 4 years, I never ever had a road trip that Mandy and Taryn weren't a part of. And that was just due to Coach Williams.
Mm.
When we traveled, he was very understanding and allowed me to bring my family. So I never missed really that family time, and that was a priority for me, was to make sure that even when we had Marcus, even when they weren't able to travel as much. I wanted them around practice. I wanted you guys around my family to know the sense of who I am as a coach, but also as a parent, and in that you guys were a part of our family as well. So I've been blessed to have a great understanding in that relationship. And then some of the mentors and the people that I've worked with and worked for have always had a great balance. Here at Colorado State, Coach Williams is a family oriented person. He talks a lot about if you've got things that you need to take care of at home, then you go and do those things, as long as you're responsible for your responsibilities here in the office. So I've been able to balance that where I can, today I'm going to go and watch my son play his summer league ball games tonight, and I can leave basketball here and totally be focused in that respect. But like I said, it's just understanding those time and demands and working smart. If it means that I need to get up a little bit early to make sure that I have my job things accomplished, then I'll do that. If it means that when the family goes to bed, staying up a little bit later, taking care of those responsibilities. But I do love blending those two components because basketball is a big part of my life, but my family is first, and I want those to be intertwined so that our players know that if they have a need, or if they need to just feel that sense of home, that they've got a place that they can stop over, and they know who Mandy is, they know who Taryn is, they know who Marcus is, and it's not uncomfortable. This is really about helping them get through this moment in their lives.
Wow. So you're saying work and family are one. They're together. The level of leadership you have to be effective and efficient with how you manage yourself and manage time. And you're saying to operate high level in leadership, you have to figure out what it takes to intertwine both aspects of your life.
Yeah, because like the game, especially in this level, you're always on. Whether you're at home, you're making phone calls, talking to recruits, whether you're watching film and getting prepared, whether you're preparing for practice, whether you're breaking down film. That takes an extraordinary amount of time. But you also have to be able to balance that time of being present as a father, being present as a husband, being able to spend the times in those. So you have to be able to manage some of those type of things. But again, I've just been really, really fortunate that my wife understands kind of the components of what our time looks like, and the different times that changes. And she's very allowing of that. And my kids are a lot older now, so they kind of understand. But when you take those moments, you really have to capitalize and spend that one-on-one time and really try to be focused and present.
Wow, amazing. One more question, Coach, before we can conclude this amazing podcast. And again, thank you for being here today. Such a wealth of wisdom that you're providing us all with. But what type of legacy do you want to leave for your family, for the people closest to you, on the court, off the court?
It's funny. My sisters asked that question to me a few days ago, and it was like, and it's kind of said it in to sum it up in like 3 words or things. And I was and a lot of people look at me as an athlete or as a coach, and that's kind of been who I've identified as. But I think my book is a little layered. I'm a loyal guy. I'm somebody that if I attach to, or I gravitate to you, or I call you my friend, I'm a friend for life. I'm willing to sacrifice and go that extra mile for you. But I'm disciplined. Since I was a kid, I had a focus that I was willing to sacrifice to work towards, and strategically, I've been able to achieve a lot of those goals and to develop into the coach and to the father that I wanted to be. And then just the work ethic. There's no task that's too big for me. Just because I'm a college basketball coach doesn't mean that I can't come and help put the baskets up or set up a clock. That's not a manager's job, or that's a janitor's job. That's our job. We're all a part of this same focus that we're trying to achieve and reach our goals. So I'm a guy that I'm very humble, very realistic. Some can say I'm kind of confident or cocky, but but I think it's part of my preparation. I've put a lot of time, I've put a lot of sacrifice, I've worked my tail off. So putting those type of things in place, I expect to be successful. I expect to be to win and achieve things. So I'm willing to put time in, and that's probably the legacy that I want people to know, that I was a loyal, hardworking guy that was very focused and disciplined to work towards the goals that I wanted to achieve. And for the most part, I've achieved a lot of those.
Amazing. I love how you said discipline, Coach. It's one of the primary concepts I learned from you at Wayne State, was waking up early and you work hard to achieve anything in your life, whether it's in the sports arena or it's just you functioning in your God-given gift, your God-given potential. You have to work very hard. You have to be tough. You have to be disciplined, because discipline is your freedom. There's nothing meaningful in your lifetime you will be able to accomplish without having those key components. And you also need to have a perspective of that this world is bigger than yourself, that you're not just operating to, bring blessing into your life, but your blessings are gateways for other people around you to succeed. And I believe if we could wake up every day with that mentality, that mindset, everyone will catch success. But well, Coach, thank you so much for being here on our podcast today. You are amazing. It's been a long time since we had a conversation with each other, but I wish you much success. I'll be tuning in. I'm actually going to get a Colorado State University t-shirt and watch you guys play this year, and I want you to do well. And I want also, tell you, I was talking to Brett Kane over the weekend, because his daughter plays against my daughter a lot, so I see him often. We play in the same basketball league, and we're just talking about this podcast today and the impact you had on our lives and so many people. And Coach, bottom of my heart, I wish you nothing but the best, because you deserve it. You've impacted so many lives, including myself. So thank you for being here today, Coach. Thank you just for being on the earth. Thank you for being Coach Rico. Okay.
Well, Tim, I'll send you some gear. You don't have to purchase any. But I also want to say thank you. This has also been a humbling opportunity for me, because when I set out to be a college coach, that was a big part of it, was trying to impact people's lives. And when I had you at Wayne, we weren't always the most successful team, but I pride myself on developing young men, and a lot of the young men that have been a part of our program, and even the young ladies that have been a part of this program, have gone on to do special things. So in that realm, I feel like we've accomplished more than what the game was supposed to deliver. But you in particular, from a young man that walked onto our program, didn't see much playing time and those type of things, to see the man that you've become, the father that you've become, and the things that you're doing in your community, impacting lives, and the mentorship things. Those are the things that make me so most proud and prideful. So I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on your platform, and just know that I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Coach. That just made my day. Coach. Thank you so much. You're a blessing to me and so many other people. But everyone, let's clap it up for Coach Rico Burkett, amazing human being. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the TC Lifestyle Fit YouTube channel. If everyone wants to follow Colorado State basketball, there are certain websites that they need to log into to keep up with the schedule.
CSURams.com.
All right, CSURams.com. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Coach Burkett, I know you're a busy man. I appreciate your time. It's very valuable, but I'll reconnect with you soon, Coach. Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate you, Tim, and thanks for allowing me to be a part of this.
Yes, sir. Take care, Coach, and God bless you. You're amazing.
You bet.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Coach.